Kate Middleton is gearing up to accompany Prince William on a major international trip, according to reports, and it's being described as a pivotal moment for the royal couple. The Princess of Wales, 44, is set to journey to India with her husband later this year for the Earthshot Prize Awards, representing another crucial milestone in her steady return to global royal engagements. However, the visit may hold deeper importance beyond the environmental ceremony itself, as the pair prepare to reunite on the world stage after a turbulent period for the royal family. Royal expert Russell Myers said, following her successful return to international duties this year, which included her visit to Reggio Emilia in Italy for her early years research. Catherine is very much looking forward to attending the Earthshot Awards in India alongside her husband. It comes as William and Kate's strange travel rule has been revealed. He explained that Kate's decision to undertake the trip represents a major advancement in her resumption of overseas responsibilities, while simultaneously positioning the Waleses back in the international spotlight as a team. Russell added to OK, the fact that she's planning to go to India is such a huge milestone not only for her, but for the couple together, reports The Express. He added, it will be almost 4 years since they traveled to Boston together to attend the Earthshot Awards. And even longer since they took on their major royal tour of the Caribbean, which was fraught with controversy. William, 44, and Kate made the journey to Boston in December 2022 for the second Earthshot Prize Awards, with the 3-day trip representing one of their most important joint engagements on American soil. Earlier that year, the pair had carried out an official tour of Belize, Jamaica, and the Bahamas to mark Queen Elizabeth II's Platinum Jubilee. However, certain aspects of the Caribbean trip sparked backlash, including condemnation over photos showing the couple greeting crowds through a wire fence in Jamaica, and concerns about the evolving relationship between the monarchy and Commonwealth realms. After the tour, William released an unusually frank statement recognizing that the monarchy's ties with Commonwealth nations were evolving. Since that time, the couple's capacity to carry out major engagements together has been unexpectedly hampered. Kate withdrew from public duties in 2024 while receiving treatment for cancer, significantly limiting her public appearances and international travel. She subsequently announced in September that year that she had finished chemotherapy, before disclosing in January 2025 that she was in remission. Her return to royal responsibilities has been intentionally measured, making the possibility of traveling to India especially meaningful. Russell believes the international appearance could now offer William and Kate a chance to launch a fresh chapter together. He said this is a chance of renewal for both of them, and when they are together on the international stage, there is no doubt they have a far bigger impact. He added, the royal family and indeed the country has been missing that, and the way they are prepared to take on this trip at a time of immense diplomatic sensitivity bodes extremely well for the future. The visit would also see Kate become directly involved in one of William's most high-profile personal initiatives. Prince William launched the Earthshot Prize in 2020 with the ambitious goal of finding and scaling solutions to some of the planet's biggest environmental challenges. She was told to rest. She was told to take her time. And for months, the world held its breath wondering if we'd ever see her back at full strength. But now, palace sources are saying something that nobody quite expected this soon. Kate Middleton may be stepping back onto the world stage, joining Prince William on a major international trip. After everything this family has been through, this is not just a travel announcement. This is a statement. Welcome back to Crowncast Daily. If you've been following this channel, you know we don't deal in rumor for the sake of it. So when credible accounts start surfacing about the Princess of Wales potentially joining William on foreign soil for the first time since her cancer diagnosis became public, we pay attention. And so should you. To understand why this moment carries the weight it does, we need to go back a little. Early in 2024, Kensington Palace confirmed what many had suspected, that Catherine, Princess of Wales, had been diagnosed with cancer. The announcement came after weeks of speculation, fueled by her absence from public life following abdominal surgery in January of that year. The palace had initially said nothing beyond that the procedure had taken place and that recovery was progressing well. But the public silence stretched on. Weeks became months. And then came that video, recorded in a garden, Catherine speaking calmly and directly to camera, telling the world she was undergoing preventative chemotherapy. It was a moment that stopped the country. Whatever your feelings about the monarchy, whatever your politics, watching a mother of 3 sit down and say those words with that level of composure was something entirely human. The response was enormous. Messages flooded in from across the Commonwealth, from politicians, from celebrities, from ordinary people who had been through similar journeys themselves. And Prince William, who had already lost his own mother at a devastatingly young age and watched his father face his own cancer diagnosis, was now navigating an unimaginable personal storm while continuing his public duties as heir to the throne. For much of 2024, Catherine's appearances were carefully limited. There were significant moments trooping the color the Wimbledon final, but they were measured and deliberate, chosen to signal progress without overextending. Sources close to the family indicated that her recovery was the absolute priority and that no royal schedule would take precedence over her health. William continued his engagements largely alone, and the public quietly adjusted to an unusual new normal. But here is where the story begins to shift. Because it was never going to stay that way forever. And now, reports suggest, we may be approaching the moment everyone has been waiting for. Sources indicate that discussions have been taking place within Kensington Palace regarding Catherine potentially accompanying William on an upcoming overseas tour. The details of exactly which trip and when remain closely guarded, as you would expect from a palace that has learned, sometimes painfully, the cost of premature announcements. But the fact that these conversations are happening at all, that her name is being put alongside William's in the context of international travel, signals something significant. It suggests her medical team is satisfied with her progress. It suggests she herself feels ready. And within royal circles, an overseas tour is not a soft reintroduction. It is demanding, public-facing, and high-profile in a way that a single garden appearance simply is not. Palace insiders have revealed that the planning for major royal tour involves months of preparation. Routes, security, engagements, diplomatic meetings, the physical stamina required, none of it is trivial. So when her name enters those planning conversations, it means something. It means the people closest to her believe she can handle it. That alone is an important signal about where her recovery stands. There is also the question of what this would mean politically and diplomatically. William's profile on the world stage has grown considerably over the past year. His Earthshot Prize work has taken him to multiple countries, and sources suggest there is a significant bilateral visit being considered that would carry real diplomatic weight. Having Catherine alongside him would not merely be symbolic. It would be a powerful statement of continuity, of the future of the monarchy looking stable, united, and engaged. There are conversations happening in government circles too, quietly, about the optics of the trip and what it communicates to allied nations about the strength and resilience of the institution. And then there is the more personal dimension. Those who know Catherine well have described her, according to various reports, as someone who finds deep meaning in her public role. The work she has championed, particularly around early childhood development and mental health, is not performative for her. She has spoken about it with a specificity and a passion that is hard to fake. The months away from that work, however necessary, have reportedly been frustrating for someone who is driven by purpose. Returning to the international stage would not just be a professional milestone. For Catherine personally, sources suggest, it would represent reclaiming something that was taken from her. The turning point, by all accounts, came quietly. There was no dramatic announcement, no single moment where bells rang and flags were raised. But somewhere in the months following her initial treatment, her medical team began to indicate that the trajectory was positive. Reports from late 2024 and into 2025 consistently described her as being in good health. Her public appearances increased gradually, carefully. Each one was watched with an intensity that must have been both moving and exhausting for her to navigate. But she navigated it with the kind of composure that has come to define her public presence. When she appeared at the Christmas Day church service at Sandringham, walking with her family, looking well and relaxed, it felt like a chapter turning. And then came the spring engagements, more of them, more sustained, more ambitious in scope. The garden visits and brief appearances gave way to fuller events, longer days, more complex schedules. Those around her described someone who was, in the words of one account, clearly back. Not simply going through the motions, but genuinely re-engaged. The potential overseas trip, then, would represent the final confirmation of what many have quietly believed for some time, that Catherine is not just recovered, but returning, on her own terms, to the full demands of her role. And doing so alongside William on a trip of genuine international significance would send a message that no carefully worded palace statement ever could.